Rebuild or the south side or the north side. Not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball. But we don't pull the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or Gantes or the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's up, everybody? Let us get the socials up and going here. Are we good?
Yep.
We are good to go. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Everybody
Yep,
ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, March 2nd, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Swaski, a.k.a. Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe, and a.k.a. Positive Zoe. He's back.
Oh.
He's back. And with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto,
Well, you haven't dealt with an injury yet, so that's why you're still 100% positive.
which
so.
is weird. I don't know what to do with my hands. It's very weird. And the good Reverend K Fids.
I would just like to, before anybody decides to try and take it, we have already trademarked Killian Shot and Wes Nasty as ours, Pinwheels and
Wes
Ivy.
Nasty, TM, copyright, all that.
Wes
shit.
Nasty, because Wes Nesky is fucking Wes Nasty, and I love it.
You'll notice that young sophomore Mitch is not here yet. He gets a pass. He doesn't get a tardy slip. He gets a pass. The cattle report must have been a lot of reports going on about them cattle. So he's running a little late. He'll be joining. Yep. There's our sweet prince. He'll be joining the show momentarily. So don't worry. He's here. There will be a NASCAR minute. He's logging in now. Literally just messaged me. So I'm kind of stalling. But
3, 2.5,
and then
quarters,
we
and
will talk about we actually this is usually one of my favorite shows of the year because we just did a couple months of just off season rumors, trade, blah blah blah, all this shit. Today is the first episode of this season where we get to talk about actual shit taking place on the field. Like actual baseball. We've gotten to watch baseball. We've gotten to talk baseball. I think although you said it in our chat, the Cubs and the Sox are playing at the same time. We're all putting in like things that are happening. All is just like,
Oh,
feels
it's
good
just
to
so
talk
great.
baseball. Oh, it's so much better than the off the field bullshit.
Yeah.
So we actually got a lot to talk about though. As Aldo alluded to, the Cubs are dealing with some injuries. They caught a little bit of an early injury bug.
somebody sent it across town from last year, and apparently it hovered over Wrigley. And then
we got some position battles to talk about. We got some early observations from both sides of town. What's going on with the spring training games, and I mean, I'm excited for the World Baseball Classic. And also, one of the things that the World Baseball Classic has given us is anybody that's playing in the World Baseball Classic was kind of forced to like start and play significant innings in these first couple spring training games.
Yeah.
Because as we're recording this Wednesday night, I just saw like Moncada and Luis Robert are hopping on a plane right now to go meet up with the Cuban team in Taiwan. So they're out of camp right now. So they kind of had to get their reps in before they took off. So we got a lot to talk about. So all that being said, let's tap this keg. As always, this show is brought to you by Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you download the app, turn on push notifications so you'll be the first to know what the Bears do with their draft picks. I was just looking at your jersey, Kevin, so it made me think of that. Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Also, Uncle Bud's, 9700 South Cicero. They got happy hours going on now every day. I think it's from, 3 to 5. I could definitely be wrong on that.
And if not, tell him Zoe said it was.
Sure. They got
so put on Joe's tab.
Yep. I think bingo on Mondays, trivia on Tuesdays, karaoke on Thursdays. There's always something going on at Uncle Bud's. So if you're looking for something to do, go on out there. The food's fantastic. I was there for a little shindig on Saturday. we had ourselves a good old time. I actually shot 2200 in Golden Tee, not a big deal.
Ooh.
Played a new dart game too. It was kind of really hard. I got
Was
smoked.
it like darts?
No, it was like the actual darts, but
I was,
it,
yeah.
it wasn't like cricket. It was called something. I can't remember what the name of it is.
I can't remember the games. Cricket was. That's what it is. Whoa, we got an echo.
Oh,
That was
that's
cool. Littering and.
But
Some Pinwheels and Ivy, live on Pinwheels and Ivy.
yeah, so go check that out, Uncle Bud's. Also, we do have merch now, folks. Go buy
the
some damn merch. Go buy the merch.
Link in this Twitter bio.
Yes, go
Bad
buy it.
news coming from.
Yep. A cow apparently ate through Mitch's internet connection. So he said he'll be joining us momentarily. But yeah, go buy some merch, folks. And also keep your eyes open because all the cool kids are doing it. So we're gonna jump in. We're in the process of setting up Pinwheels and Ivy playback for your Cubs and White Sox games this season.
And we'll actually time them to be exactly when it's getting Drafty Pod tries to do playback. If they're doing one right now. Yeah, jerks.
Yeah. So a lot going on, a lot cooking, but the most important thing is you buy some merch because again, guaranteed at least second base.
Mm-hmm. And we've tried. Didn't we define third base last week? So
No, because we have no idea what it is.
Oh, that's the one with bodily fluids, sort of, right? Or
I have no idea. These days, dude, people, I don't know. You get sued for saying that.
It's like inflation, first base back in the 60s is like like a sack bunt nowadays.
True.
I don't know if that worked out, but you guys.
I got you. We hear you.
So I think the biggest story so far in the spring training has obviously the injuries happening in the Cubs camp, and I feel partly responsible for the biggest one. So Seiya Suzuki, what's the exact injury?
Left oblique strain, moderate.
And how long?
No timetable.
Oh, it's a really small.
We pretty much know it's probably going to be like 6 weeks.
Yeah, Nico Horner missed like 6-7 weeks when it's happened to him 2 years ago. Also, when he kind of bulked up a little bit. So, damn beef.
That's what I was gonna say. Is fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I won't be fooled again. Because what was the big spring training story last year? Lucas Giolito comes in.
I was gonna say, Giolito
looks like a fucking tank. Up. We got all excited. Like, oh, he's gonna be stronger. His stamina is gonna be there. His legs are tree trunks. He had off season or like a bad season. And then what did he do? He completely went the other way coming into 2023. But then we see it again with Seiya Suzuki. We're hyping it up. We're like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking monster. Like the signs were there. The red flags were there. We've seen this before. So I'm not going to get fooled again. I am anti these guys putting on all this muscle. Well, like that's the thing. I think I'm going to put an age point to it. Because if you're still a young guy and like you're getting jacked, that's great. Like you're still kind of growing a little into your body or whatever. But if you're like above, I don't know, let's say 27, 28, just no, don't do that. No dramatic body changes.
If putting on the mass in the off season makes you look more like the American Dwayne Dusty Rhodes instead of, I don't know, like say like a young Goldberg, maybe you should maybe taper off a little bit and go with the long muscles. And you've seen it with some of the other guys. They're getting the long muscles. They're getting into the Pilates now. They're doing the strength training for longevity as opposed to
guys.
Oh, he's alive.
There he is.
Oh.
There he is. Mitch, we said a cow ate your modem.
I don't. Yeah,
you're here now. That's all that matters. We're talking about the Seiya Suzuki injury and Matty Mitch with the all-time John Daly quote in the comments: "You can pull muscle, you can't pull fat. Stay fat, boys."
Yohan Moncada gets a lot of
My body's felt
He's
this.
really sore. He's too
Yeah.
tight.
Well, John Daly, when people ask John Daly how he stayed in the PGA Tour as long as he has, that's usually his answer. Just keep
I
full fat.
Joey and pliable.
I feel my body feels better than it has in years. That's a true statement, Maddie.
Like
Mhm.
literally the only good
Doesn't
news
even
about
hurt.
the Suzuki injury, and it sucks because obliques are. Yeah, I mean, Kevin, you've seen this with other
Oh.
players. Is they're even when a player like gets back, it can still be like a nagging issue where like you feel
never goes away.
something, you feel off, and then you change your mechanics that affects how you play. It just fucks everything up.
It
Like,
fucks the balance.
because it's every motion. It's on your side. Like he's swinging, he's moving around. He has to reach out to catch a ball,
And what happens when you overcompensate for one side?
and then you hurt something else. Yeah.
On the
Eh,
other side, you literally the balance is gone that you're supposed to be operating with, especially in a game where you fire your hips, which require full-on oblique participation. Where the core goes, your body goes, and that's the thing that one swing on a random Friday afternoon doubleheader or a Friday after, Sunday matinee. That one swing, just one random swing, and it'll act up again. And this is scary because these are injuries that nag a whole season. You'd hope that someone would get this towards the end of the season and they can play through it. It's a lot harder to play through something like this if you haven't even kicked off. He hasn't played a game yet, not even a spring training. So this is terrifying in the sense that there was so many good projections with him, and he did look good, but now he's one sneeze away from
We
being
just did 20 minutes in an episode talking about how good he looks and how he bulked up. I mean,
No, guys, I
Well,
was
I think
waiting.
that's-
I was gonna drop that video on Saturday. Like I was gonna drop it again. I'm like, guys, get ready for the Seiya Suzuki breakout. Here's adjustments he's making, and then like an hour before first pitch, Seiya Suzuki scratched oblique soreness or tightness at the time before they did the MRI. Like what I was gonna say is like the only good thing is the time, I guess. Like it's spring training. If it is a full let's say it's like a 6 week time frame. And again, this is speculation. The team hasn't put out they haven't put out a timetable yet. But let's just say it's 6 weeks. That means he'll be back like a week into the season.
Yeah, if you're gonna get hurt, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
and then what was the other significant injury for the Cubs?
Really, that was the only one. I mean, the only one that's popped up recently is Patrick Wisdom has groin soreness.
No,
He's been out
The new dude they got. No, nope. I think I'm thinking of a different.
Justin Steele was scratched, arm fatigue. He was supposed to start on Sunday, but
Which is
he's back on track. He pitched his bullpen session Tuesday,
Hendricks
and
is
he's
out
going to
till-
start Friday.
Hendricks
So
is out till May, maybe. I mean,
Oh yeah, Kyle Hendricks is like that's the one that we already knew.
no rush,
coming in.
Kyle. No rush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of my predictions that I wrote about back in was it like January was I think Kyle Hendricks is going to start a maximum of like 10 games for the Cubs this year. Like if I think at this point if the Cubs get anything from Kyle Hendricks, it's a positive. Because that's
And I know we're gonna talk about it in a second when we talk about that battle for the fifth spot. I mean, the battle for the fifth spot is without including Kyle Hendricks even as a factor in the fifth spot because you've got Stroman, you've got Tyon, you've got Steele, and you've got Smiley. Although I know that we'll talk about that too, but that's a fifth spot right there. Like, and I mean the way that both Killian and Wes Nasty looked. Hendricks is he's kind of turning into it's like Major League 4. He's going to turn into a coach. He's going to be a pitching coach.
Speaking of that great pitching depth the Cubs have, and the injury to Seiya, let's say hypothetically speaking, let's say it's a little more serious. He's not back. In the middle of April. White Sox, you guys have Gavin Sheets over there. You guys want an Adrian Sampson for Gavin Sheets?
Ooh,
I don't even know what that is, but I know every time you offer a trade, it's dog shit. So I'm gonna say
Look up his numbers. Look up his numbers.
I'll actually say Aldo's not trying to pull the wool over your eyes on this.
This is my first serious trade offer ever on this show.
What's his name?
There's desperation in his voice.
What's his name?
Adrian Sampson.
Samson.
Now
he's only been good with the Cubs.
And while you're looking it up, with Seiya out, that's also giving some opportunity to some of the younger Cubs prospect.
Yes.
Brennan Davis hit a double today. Obviously, Matt Mervis is still a factor out there.
First of all, I don't like this guy's face.
Oh
at
God,
all.
you
What do you mean? What's
Don't
wrong with his
like it.
face?
Don't like
fastball.
his face at all.
Does he look
don't
like a
like his
pirate?
face.
What? I don't even know. What he is. A picture of him throwing, or
35 games in 2019. What the hell did he do in 20? Oh, was he
No, no,
closing?
no, no, no. I said he's only good with the Cubs. Look at his numbers with the Cubs, though. Let's focus. Remember, the Cubs
All
are
right,
the new.
he does have good numbers with the Cubs.
hold
The
up.
Cubs are the new pitching infrastructure geniuses.
So I did. I have to say this. I did look up Samson, and this is what I got instead of the Cubs Samson. I hope he doesn't look like this, but I thought you might get a kick out of seeing really what I would consider to be
We got enough righties.
Civil War era
Damn.
Chirizi. Chirizi.
That was Rick.
Eh.
No, that was years ago.
You might
Revolutionary
strain your
War.
oblique reaching.
I don't want you to get injured too, Kevin, reaching like that.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Decent stats with the Cubs.
Pepper.
If he was a lefty, I'd be more about it.
I mean, all right, Ethan Katz, new project, and make Adrian Sampson a lefty.
now you're going to strain your oblique.
And see, if they make this trade, you can be like, Samson, I'm sorry. When he starts pitching well, you're like, Samson, I'm sorry. And you can apologize to
I don't
him.
know.
You're going to want to talk to Samson.
He's 31.
He's cheap. He's going to cost you nothing.
Well, if he's cheap, he's not costing me Gavin Sheets.
What are you talking about? What the hell are you getting for Gavin Sheets?
Serviceable right fielder.
Well, you already have Oscar Colas.
No, that's what I'm saying. Gavin Sheets is a serviceable right fielder.
Okay, well, you're getting a serviceable starting pitcher. What
Do we really
are we doing? This sounds like a fair deal to me.
no,
He's a
I'm out.
serviceable hitter that happens to play right field. I don't know if he's
I'm out.
Yeah,
Dude,
there you
he's
go.
on-
Thank
he
you,
is-
Mitch. You're making
did-
that case better.
Did you watch Chuck Garfien almost like broke his jaw trying to tell people how much Gavin Sheets has worked on his right fielding skills?
Well, that's his job, is to gas people up.
I know.
Well, he took TA. He's taking TA's advice.
I love Chuck Garfien, but I mean, come on, that guy's a mouthpiece for the organization. He's
I will say though, Gavin Sheets, the jump on the ball, Gavin Sheets and his reads were towards the end of the year way better.
I would hope they're getting better since he was
Yeah.
out there so much.
I think he'll be better this year. But before we go, let's answer this question in the comments. Who's closing for the Cubs?
So there is, just like there's competition at the end of the starting rotation for the Cubs between a couple of veteran guys and a couple of young guys. That's the same case for the closers role. So they signed Michael Fulmer, used to be with the
I'm very familiar with
the
him.
Tigers and the Twins.
I'm very familiar with him.
Converted into a reliever, closed out some games with Detroit. Nasty slider. He's an option. And then there's Jeremiah Estrada, younger guy. He came up last year, brief time, electric. He's one of the guys who can throw 95 plus. He can hit 98 on the fastball. So I think at the beginning of the year, it's going to be, I think they're going to lean towards Fulmer. I think that's why they signed him heading into spring training. He's like one of the last free agent signings there. He's probably going to get the first shot because they don't have many other guys with a long track record of closing. Brandon Hughes, he did a little last year.
Right.
Brad Boxberger, he's had with a few teams. But there's no guy really with a long track record of closing games until recently. Fulmer, and that's the thing. Even Michael Fulmer doesn't have a lot of experience as a closer.
Right.
But I think eventually it's going to be a guy like Jeremiah Estrada, who at the end of the game, it's like, all right, go get him, kid. Blow these guys away.
The thing is, they're going to play matchups too early. They have
What, Mitch?
Or like a 7th, 8th inning high leverage guy right now. I think he's still a year away from the 9th inning.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
he's
shit.
heading into the season. Yeah.
What?
Hello.
We got Blondie in the chat. Long time listener, first time caller there.
Who wanted to be purpley, but she has blondie. I saw that. post.
Our analytics are changing, baby.
So yeah, I think you
We
just
just got 1%.
You just skewed our demographics completely, Missy.
Everybody.
Now
we
before we talk about the Cubs fifth starter or anything with the White Sox, we do got to talk about probably
pitch clock.
the biggest story so far in all of Major League Baseball. It's this pitch clock situation. Now,
Can I go for?
hold on. I'm pretty sure you and Fids are on the same page, which
sorry.
is scary.
That was actually a joke.
But before you guys go off about it, I do want to say, not mad about the 2 hours and 30-minute games.
No, I'm with you, Zo.
Oh, I'm so glad you're happy, though.
I do that. I agree. Everyone's showing that clip of like, oh, bases loaded, full count. Who gives a shit? It was a spring training game. No one was watching it anyway. So that's the first off. Everyone's outraged at a game they weren't watching anyway. Of course, there's some hiccups. There's some goofy stuff going on. But so is everything. There was hiccups in the car when it was first invented, too. Corner was invented in basketball.
A lot of people died when the cars failed early, though.
Of course, like everything, it's not great early. That's why they're testing it in spring training. I am all for shorter games. Like,
time out. Where did you pull a car analogy from? You could have went with any invention of all time, and you went
with
the
Henry
car.
Ford's death trap when it first started. There's going to be death and carnage ahead of us, fiery crashes and burns.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was good.
Finally get it. Eventually, we'll have.
I feel like there's
about 100 years.
There's a big butt coming in your rant here, though, Mitch.
no, this is one of those. No, like honestly, this is what I think it is great for baseball, and everyone complaining about it, it's stupid. Who doesn't want a shorter game on TV? Like, I don't have 3.5 hours to sit around and watch the White Sox blow a 9th inning lead. Like, who has time for
Cattle to report on?
2.5 hours? Then yeah, okay, at least it's doable. I don't feel like I wasted half of my day. The people complaining about it makes no sense. No one cares about that full count game in spring training. I'm glad they're getting the hiccups out of the way, and players got to adjust. And the players that are complaining about it are probably the ones that were like the human rain delays holding up the game for like 6 hours. Like, you've seen all the videos of how many times like Jose Altuve went around the base for an inside the park home run, and for the time it took that guy for the Dodgers to throw like one pitch, or like all these videos. It's good. I'm glad it's happening. It makes the game more interesting. It doesn't change the strategy. Good move by baseball. Quit your bitching.
I do think it's very disingenuous that using like the most extreme examples that happened once, like 2016 in the NLCS, which, by the way, high leverage situation, drama, and mind games. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're rushing through things, where's the drama when you're in like I'm sorry. Have you ever watched like those movies from the 20s with the low frame rate? You know, the old.
Sorry though.
If you are a diehard baseball fan, you're going to watch no matter what. If you are trying to get into baseball and you're watching that situation and supposedly the biggest moment of the season, you're put to sleep.
I'm talking about mind games. I'm talking about high leverage situations, the gamesmanship of a guy digging in, calling time, the pitcher messing with each other, the pitcher holding on, shaking until he gets the guy to call time. These are parts of that mental game, because when you get someone just off their clock, that's how you beat them. So my point is, when you go to this rhythm, it becomes just a rhythm. It becomes rhythmic. It's like you've got your volume or your playback on 1.5 speed, and you're trying, yes, 1.5 speed, you're still going to get most of the movie, but I don't feel like you're not getting the drama. The drama has now been trimmed off. The drama is what happens in between those minutes, because it's the gamesmanship and the stupidity. But I do think that obviously it's hilarious watching that 2016 at bat in the NLCS with the Dodgers with, what was his name, Rios or whatever, and they got like 5 or 6 inside the park home runs in that time. It's ridiculous.
Pedro Baez, I think.
Yeah, and as a pitching coach, I fucking love a pitcher that gets the ball, gets on the bump, and gets right to it. Number one, I preach that across the board. Catcher, get the ball back to your pitcher, get back on the rubber, and get going. I love it. It's the forced aspect of it that you can't really, if your timing is off and you need to refresh your head, how does a pitcher now clear the mechanism for a second to refocus if they've got fuck that. In 15 seconds, my ass. Okay?
No, you get I think every at bat you get 2 times.
You can actually step off. Okay, so that's better. Okay, because I mean, if you need to step
like
off, 3 times,
that's the other thing. People are freaking out. We don't know all the all the details.
Let's scratch that one. I like it. Then let's get the guys moving.
Just hammering out. Of course, it is not a perfect product right now. There's going to be issues,
and I think the same goes for a batter.
I don't like the batter's box stuff, because they're in the batter's box, but somehow the umpire gets to determine, are they ready or not. If you're in the batter's box, that means you say you're ready. If once you're in the box, the pitcher can do whatever the fuck they want with the baseball at that point. I don't like the umpires. If he's in the box, he's in the box. Pitch the baseball. It shouldn't have anything to do with the guy, the hitter. It's everything on the pitcher. If the pitcher delivers the pitch at 14 seconds and the batter's not in the box, then fuck him. It's his fault. Get in the box. And if you're in the box, now we have umpires having to dictate, I don't think he was really ready. Well, what if he was ready? He was standing open, and as the pitcher comes set, that's when he digs forward, and that's part of his pre-pitch routine. How is an umpire going to know that? It's all subjective. So now we put more power in the hands of these idiot umpires. So the ump show not only increased, the ump show now is bigger because now this is a big ump show thing. It's a brand new rule.
As much as everyone always gets outraged by the ump show, it's entertaining. I love watching managers argue with an umpire.
That's true. You took away the strike zone, or took away the other calls.
Yeah, that's
So
why I don't care.
here's my thing with it. I like the quicker games. I think they need to tweak a couple little things about it, like maybe the subjectiveness of what it means to be ready in the batter's box. But I also think that this is a classic case of where we're at in 2023, where it's something new and different. So everyone's going to take a big old shit on it, no matter what. These players, they're professionals. They're going to adjust to it. And I can guarantee you by, let's say, May, no one's going to give a fuck about it anymore.
Do we know what the Cubs? Because I know the Sox have been playing pretty quick games. The Cubs have played a couple 3-hour games.
I think the Cubs have been playing a lot of fast games. Today's game was about 2.5 hours long. Yesterday's game was 2 hours 11 minutes, I think.
Saturday
I
and
think
Sunday,
they've had one long game.
No, Saturday and Sunday's game were both 3 hours because they both started at noon and both ended around 3:05. So I know that because they were in the 6th inning when the White Sox game ended on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. And so there is when teams score runs, a 9-4 game is going to be a 3-hour game. A 2-1 game is already going to be a 2.5-hour game. Now it'll be a little bit shorter, but when you score runs, you've got long innings. I mean, it's still going to increase, but it'll trim some of it off. I think they're making a bigger deal because it's spring training, but look at the average time of spring training games a year ago and tell me that it's not that much different because I doubt if you look at the numbers.
Average.
I think the big point of this which is
Offense
I
isn't
think MLB was trying to get to it's not so much like, yeah, is there that much of a difference if a game is 3 hours and if a game is 2 hours 45 minutes? Like probably not minutes. The point is it does take away, and I get the high leverage spots, there's the mind games. I get that. But it's all the dead time. It's the dead time that they're cutting away with. And I think we can mostly agree that early on in the game or throughout most of the game, there was just so much nothing happening.
But can we laugh at the irony that the broadcasts are not going to get any shorter?
No, I mean, that's
still going to be the same length.
That's TV money.
But the
You're
point
not
is that on the
watching
TV, you're consistently seeing action. You're seeing pitches being thrown. You're seeing guys doing stuff. You're not just seeing guys standing around. You're not seeing, a minute as just the camera guys going around the stands because there's a fourth meeting with the catcher and the pitcher.
Here's me though. If I pay $100 to go to a concert, I better damn well get a 2.5, 3-hour concert, right? You're paying how much money to go to a Cubs game, for example?
The difference is the only way you're seeing that concert is if you're going in person. No one's streaming the concert.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, is this rule for people in person? Because we keep hearing people saying, "Oh, it's so nice, I can go home. I'm not stuck at the ballpark late at night." Or is it about the broadcast game? Like, what about the speed of the game? Adding like quickness is bring the next generation of fans into the game. That's my question.
Are you kidding me? Have you met kids?
Attention.
What do I do?
Their attention span.
What do I do for a living?
Their attention span. That's why I'm wildly shocked that's your take on this.
They don't give two shits about that. They want something entertaining. That's
the thing. That's just baseball. That's just baseball in general. Baseball, no matter what, quick, fast, in the middle.
It's just
like Mitch said. If you like baseball right now, these changes, you're not gonna like you said, Zoe. By May, you're not gonna care that much.
I'm not going to worry too much about it in the end, either way, as long as it doesn't affect like the game itself. But I can tell you this: kids don't give two shits about the speed of something, and it's too easy for people to say, "Oh, that's a TikTok generation." They're not that simple, guys.
But again, it's not the speed. It's not the speed. It's what is going on the screen that you're watching. There's actually stuff happening.
They don't happening, but the whole thing is, they don't have attention span. They're on TikTok, blah, 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 for the TikTok. I don't buy that. I don't think you're going to draw in the TikTok generation.
The attention span nowadays is shorter. They don't want to sit around watching 45 seconds from each pitch, listening to Steve Stone and Benetti have a soliloquy about the churros in the ballpark day. You want to see some action.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now.
The
attention span is not any different than it was when you were a kid, bro. We flipped through the commercials just like everybody else. We were paying attention 12 and a half minutes at a time, just like everybody else watching TV, flipping through the channels every 12 minutes. Like, it's not that uncommon, man. Everybody was raised on that. So I'm not too concerned with the speed of the game in between. I'm more or less more disappointed that instead of just having a system in place that encourages pitchers to work fast, they have to like create an actual rule system with a shot clock that again alters a lot of other things that I don't appreciate. I just don't like.
This is exactly why I know it's.
But
this is why I know it's not going to be a problem at all. Like I think like by the middle of April, everyone's gonna be like, all right, this is what it is. Because if you look at these spring training games, if you're watching them on TV, when the guys who pitched in the minor leagues last year or spent any time either by pitching or they were batting, they have no problem. So it's just over time you're gonna get used to it. And that's why I love it that they implement it from the very start of spring training, so that you do get all the the weird stuff out of the way. You get guys used to it because by the middle of April, by May, it's just going to be just how whatever the routine was before, how that was normal for them. Now this is going to be normal for them. It's not going to be an issue at all.
Hold on, Fitz. Fitz. You've been going for 20 minutes. Let me get a word in.
Hold on, real quick. Before you go, because you're probably gonna accentuate what I'm saying. I agree 100% with guys speeding up the game, regardless, getting the ball back, pitching or whatever. I just disagree with the implementation of how they're implementing it. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Now you can go ahead and go. Sorry.
So I agree with Aldo in the fact that I don't need to see Carlos Correa take a fucking 2-mile walk around the batter's box after a pitch in the third fucking inning. I'm so glad that's getting cut out. But what I do think they should tweak, to your earlier point, Fizz, is the drama does tend to build up in later game situations. So maybe they kill the pitch clock in the 8th and 9th inning.
That's not a bad idea.
Something like that. So that way these whatever can play out in a little bit more of a significant, cinematic way. So I know they've rolled this out in minor leagues and they've tested and tweaked it, but now that it's on a bigger stage, a national stage, a stage where it doesn't get any bigger than this, I think they need to be open, because minor league games don't draw TV viewers like a major league game does. And so stuff like an 8th inning drama filled at bat doesn't really happen to the degree in minor leagues.
Yep.
I would counter it. Now, mind you, I know one of the things about baseball that a lot of people like is that there is no clock to it. But in the NBA, you got a shot clock. So it's like they don't have to worry about building drama there. There's still plenty of suspense in the fourth quarter. Same with the NFL. You got a play clock to get the playoff. The drama.
Both sports that have been governed with a clock in the first place.
Right. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. If it's a close game, the drama is going to build regardless. Them standing, I understand what you're saying, but I think people will get used to it. And if it's a good game, then you're going to be invested in it.
Those are my biggest things.
We'll get used to it. We have no choice. We're just bitching and moaning on the way down. That's all.
Also, are for your point, and like I said, I agree. It needs some tweaks at this point. You said you would like a different what would your suggestion be instead of the pitch clock to make pitchers go faster? Because I don't think there's any other way you can do it without penalizing them for not getting the pitch off in time to work faster. So what would be your solution if this isn't it?
I mean, honestly, it's just teaching the guys in the bump to work faster. I mean, and encouraging it. I mean, look, there are guys in baseball that are long, and guys, this is literally a rule that was changed. Maybe 10% of the pitchers in baseball, because most pitchers prefer to get the baseball back and get to work. The good ones do. And watch how most of these guys work. Mike Fetters, by the way, doesn't exist in this new pitch clock era. How fun was that shit, by the way? Sorry, side note, that just popped into my head. Mike Fetters was amazing to watch. But guess what? Mike Fetters, with that nice little head turn, that's not going to happen anymore. He's going to be like, oh, shit, got to go. Woo. But I just don't know. I mean, with the solution is just to
Google Mike Fetters real quick.
Oh, you don't know Mike Fetters? Oh, my God. Look YouTube videos so people can see. If you don't know what Mike Fetters is, he was amazing. He'd get set on the bump.
Oh, I recognize this guy. He looks like a grown version of the plane-to-plane guy.
And then he would all of a sudden just turn on the light switch, like just a swift head turn, like fast. But I think that there you go, Ian. It's a good point. With the blowout, pitch clock would be a lot more. Almost it's more important. If you're getting blown out, you can speed the game up because someone's down, 8 runs or whatever. I mean, sooner or later, I think Major League Baseball is going to end up with a mercy rule. Eventually, we see this is the way it's going. They've pulled the club ball stuff with the tiebreaker. We're going to start getting to a point where they're going to have a 10-run rule after 7. And
they did implement a rule this year that position players can't pitch.
Yep.
I don't think they'll do the mercy rule just because they need to get all their ad money in.
Yeah, I don't think they'll.
No way they will do a mercy rule.
But to Jack's in the comments there, Position players can't pitch anymore.
Yeah,
So
that's
they
cool.
killed that. But and I'm also really, and it's something that I'm generally like looking forward to, is figuring out how these guys game this now.
Yep,
Because there's
that-
always there's these guys are all ball players, and ball players, especially that reach this level, are gamers, dude. And they're really gonna figure out someone's gonna figure out a way to fuck with this system.
And look,
And,
every
yeah.
librarian out there talking about these rule changes and taking away the sticky stuff because they're cheating and all the blah, 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 and all these. Baseball has literally been born and bred on the concept of, oh, that's the rule. Well, let's see how far I can push the rule and how far I
Right.
can get around the rule. Phantom tags were a reason. Am I a cheater because I didn't tag the guy at second and then threw to first? No, it's part of the gamesmanship. You try, and if you get caught, you suffer the consequences in baseball. The guy's safe, you're fucked, right? Or if you all that deception stuff. So like you're right, Zoe. The best part about this will probably be these players now finding a way to circumvent the rule in other ways. They've already started to circumvent the sticky stuff rule, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But
Well, sticky stuff never went away, just so everyone knows. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just flat out, sticky stuff never went
Still
away.
there. Still
Josh Harrison struck a guy out last year, and MLB got scared and pulled the plug. But
Speaking of position pitchers pitching, throwback to was it Matt Davidson was like low key
Yes.
kind of a stud of
he's
position.
a king on this show. We only speak highly of Matt Davidson on this show.
Well, no, he was great when he was
great.
pitching.
No, yeah, he tried to do like a two-way thing in the minors, like after he had like I think he had like a 0 ERA after like 5 innings.
He was like getting
So,
up to like 90.
I
90 he
knew-
was like throwing actual pitches. I
Yeah.
remember when he came in.
I knew the pitch clock discussion would generate a response like this. So that's why I wanted to do the Cub injury first, because that was significant, and then pitch clock because it's significant. I mean, it's gonna, as Fid said, it's gonna change the game this year. And I think this is what we were talking about when we were talking about all these predictions and how people were just kind of like brushing off the no shift, the bigger bases, the pitch clock. Like it's changing all this shit. And you could already see the effects of the no shift. Watch the Yasmani Grandal bat. Yasmani Grandal is, so far, I haven't seen a player in baseball that's benefiting more from the no shift this early than Yasmani Grandal. And he's very open about it. And then they also interviewed Sheets, and he said, I see that shortstop cheating over almost into a short center position. He goes, what do you think I worked on all season? Hitting the ball hard to the fucking left side of the field.
Well, now they can just naturally swing. They don't have to worry about putting it where they're not. Like
These are gamers learning how to game a system, and that's just how this always has been. So,
can I say this? I'm super stoked that Major League Baseball did not ban the desperation shift where you bring in the center fielder and put him on top of second base and move the corner outfielders into the gaps in the bottom of the ninth inning when you've got to cut the runner down at home and there's less than 2 outs. I'm glad that they're keeping that, because if they'd have gotten rid of that shift, I'd have been extremely sad. That's one of my favorite things in baseball, is that bottom of the ninth inning where they've got to cut it down. I've seen that thing. I know people are like, I've never seen that work. I've seen it work a ton of times in games. Like it just freaks everybody out. And I love, so I'm glad that they kept, I want to say that's the Tony La Russa shift. I believe he coined that shift in 2002.
we don't talk about Tony on the show.
Or it was
Sox,
Dusty
Sox
Baker.
legend. Tony-
we don't talk about Tony La Russa on the show anymore.
One of the two.
Oh, by the way, Mitch, I didn't comment, but I know what you're referring to. I had your back spiritually and mentally, because there
Like-
was 2 wasted seasons. Beefloaf. White Sox had World Series expectations, and the best they did was win 1 playoff game.
I'm trying to raise the bar here. Like, look, it would be one thing if you're making improvement. Like take like the Bulls before they those years against the Pistons weren't wasted because they got better each year. They, like they had the shot against the Cavs, they got better, closer. So if 2021, you win the division, all right, that's a step. So I was hoping they're going to build off that, and they got completely worse, and everyone regressed, and no one showed any progress. So it was completely 2 wasted seasons that's under their growth. Unless, people, I guess, got to drink beer out in the sun for a
Dylan
summer.
Cease got better. That was the only positive.
From a baseball perspective, he wasted 2 seasons in the South.
One last thing, though. Just one last thing on the pitch clock. I am with you, Kevin, where I think like that situation that Mitch brought up at the beginning, one of the first spring training games where the game ended on the pitch.
That's lame as fuck. That's
like
lame
I
as
think
shit.
they are going to make a thing where they can't get into that situation.
No,
in a
that
regular
can't
season
happen.
game.
That can't happen.
Or how about an account starting 1-1 because both dudes? Isn't that not an offsetting penalty, for God's sakes? Like starting
I think Jesse
1-1
Rogers commented on that, how like that was a mistake by like the umpire. Like that can only be It can only that can only be a violation on one guy.
Did Jason Hayward hit a nuke today?
Yeah.
He did.
Good
New
for
swing,
him.
baby. He's back.
Oh yeah, he's wide stance.
It
Oh,
wasn't off a
man.
guy bagging groceries either. It was a guy that second inning, it was one of the red.
I
Ja-
just-
no,
it
no,
just
but I
popped
want
up
you
right
to.
now.
Look, I want you to look at the swing. I'm not going to comment anything. Just look at the swing, though.
Okay, I'm watching it. Should I share my screen so everyone can play?
Oh
this?
yeah, for all our
For all
the
the
YouTube people watching. If you're watching right now on YouTube, listening on any podcast app, subscribe to us on YouTube.
subscribe.
Look at that shameless plug. True pro right there.
Ticket giveaway once we get to
Hey,
1,000
seriously,
subs.
Oh, here we go.
Seriously, subscribe.
Seriously. Subscribe.
Like right meow.
Subscribe.
Right meow.
Subscribe
All
now.
right. First thing I noticed right away is his stance is way more open. Way more open.
All right, keep going, keep going. It still looks weird.
Go back again. Repeat
It
that.
still looks weird. There's still a little weird hitch. Still looks weird to me.
The hands?
Hold on. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. First off, look at that pitch location.
Look
Oh,
how
I mean,
he,
it's on a tee.
So freeze. Oh baby. But look at it. He's firing his hips well. Look, when Jason Hayward hits the ball hard, he hits the ball hard. He's never not hit the
Weird,
ball.
dude.
He hit a lot of. Remember when he hit it, like it felt like he was hitting a double play every single at bat because he was just hitting the ball too hard. He still hits the ball hard.
oh, we know.
His launch angle is was something of an issue. So
Smack that
Jason
ball.
Hayward had no
Jesus
problem throwing the
Christ.
ball.
Oh my God, that
would be
baseball
so
is a
dumb
family.
for him to go to LA and-
You know what? I'll take it back. I'll trade someone for Jason Hayward right now.
No, you wouldn't. No, well, on a vet
No,
Well,
minimum,
he
Yeah, why
he
not?
wouldn't. He
why
wouldn't.
not? No, he would never come back. But on a vet minimum, I mean,
Well, he's already getting the vet minimum.
I know.
All
But
right,
that's
so here's let's here if for I guess dexterity, we'll call it dexterity. Let's go. You saw that swing. We can bring that back up here in a second too.
I
And then
lost it.
let's look at 2022 Jason Hayward. All right, so that's obviously a jack he hit. So let's see, or no, it wasn't just a double, but all right, here we go. So look at his front side. His ass is in the dugout right there. So how does he look? How did he look? I couldn't see his
way
quote.
more straight up and down.
Was he more upright?
Way more up.
Look at that score. Cubs were a monster last. I'm just kidding.
I mean, that
I think the Cubs won that game. Like, what was it 21-0?
Yeah, that was No, he was even more upright than that. Look how he's more upright in the one today. He
yeah,
basically
look at his backside. That's the key. Look at his backside, which is what I really
looking at his backside.
Hey, look at that. He's got some junk in the trunk. It brings all the boys to the bar. All right, so pull that out. Now throw yours up again.
I've already lost it.
Oh, God dang it.
I pulled
I
it
just
down.
want to see his backside. I want to see the backside.
Jason Hayward.
I don't know. I just didn't want to spend 10 minutes on Jason Hayward.
Jason,
but,
well, I was just gonna say Jason Hayward's the perfect example. I hope he does great in LA. That'd be great for him.
yeah.
He's already made his money. It's fine. Jason Hayward is the perfect example of a veteran guy who every year coming to spring training, we read story after story after story, making an adjustment here, putting the hands here, changing the stance like this. And hey, sometimes it does look great, but then we just kept seeing the results.
Right. Ian, I heard
it's been like 7 straight years.
I heard that too a lot, that Freddie Freeman was pining for Jason Hayward, the Dodgers to sign Jason Hayward. But
Jonathan
let's
Silver
move.
also was. I don't know. No
Let's
idea.
go around the horn and let's do spring training overreactions.
Okay. I want to hear Mitch.
Mitch, you go
Mitch
first.
first.
What's your first initial overreaction?
Well, I don't know if this would.
It doesn't
fit.
have to be like an overreaction, just an observation. But
It just
we're gonna-
early
yeah.
thing that you're like, ooh, excited about that.
Jake Berger smoking the ball.
Ooh, there you go.
I'm glad you brought that up because I gotta give a shout out to Uncle Beefloaf because he got me excited and he also got me thinking about, are the White Sox wasting Jake Berger? And then Berger comes out and just starts hitting nukes again. And now that I can't stop thinking about it.
Making it tough. Like that bench situation is going to be. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I want to talk about the bench later. But
So Jake
Also,
Berger.
Elvis Andrus is the other one, like the biggest overreact, or I guess I should say the biggest overreaction I had. First at bat, had the triple early. he was talking about how like he's adjusted something with his swing. He's like, no, like second half me last year. That's the new me. I found something. Early returns look promising, so I'm starting to believe him. I'm buying. If he can play average defense and hit like he did last year, that's a sufficient pickup for the White Sox. That's all.
Well, the funny thing was he hit that triple, and then the next inning in the field, he made an awesome diving catch at second base. And I was just like, oh, God damn it. Now this is going to get crazy.
You guys have to trade
be a great
Montgomery.
Second, but he's good. Shots, so he'll be fine.
Montgomery got to play on Wednesday. He
Hype train. I saw it.
0 for 1, but took 2 walks. That's a major league eye, baby.
Yep.
The eye's already elite. Aldo, what's your overreaction? We'll go White Sox Cub, White Sox Cub.
So I know the big story was Wisniewski today, but I mean, I saw him be fantastic last year, so that was just more of the same. I think he's going to be the 5th starter.
And
Caleb
what's
Killian
the coin we already copyrighted for that kid?
was nasty.
Was nasty.
Was nasty.
Print the shirts.
Print the shirts, baby. TM Pinwheels and Ivy podcast.
Also subscribe.
Timestamp. We heard it.
Also subscribe.
And
Subscribe.
Caleb Killian, who came along with Alexander Canario in the Chris Bryant trade in 2021, was one of the most hyped up pitching prospects for the Cubs, going back to last spring training. He was dominant at AAA, had like a 2.06, 2.08 ERA through 9 starts, gets called up in June. He throws 5 innings against the Cardinals. First 3 innings, he went perfect. 9 up, 9 down. He looked amazing. Kevin, we were going nuts. I think that game was on Fox Saturday Baseball.
Mhm.
We were like, holy shit, like the Cubs have a fucking ace right here. After that, he was garbage. he made
Pinwheels difference, baby.
He made what was it? 3 or 4 starts. He walked 12 batters in 11 innings. It was rough. He went back to the minors. He kept walking guys down there. And we're not talking about a guy who was like effectively wild before. Like he was known to have good command. Like his control was elite, or not elite, but it was good. Like that wasn't a problem before last year. And it's like, what the hell happened? We're left, Kevin, thinking like, what was it too much for him? What else is going on? Story comes out, I think it was last week or this whatever it was during this time in spring training, dealing with a knee issue, knee tendonitis. What we were talking about earlier with say Suzuki's oblique. If you get one injury, you'll compensate. You lead to other issues. He talked about how the knee stuff, it was messing up his mechanics on the mound. His foot was in the wrong place, leads to terrible control. He comes out, Zoe and Mitch. He comes out Monday, spring training. He's throwing 95, 96, 98. 29 pitches in 2 innings, 20 strikes, 2 strikeouts. Just looked as great as you can look in a 2-inning performance in spring training.
That is the definition of
all in again on Caleb Killian.
That is the definition of a spring training overreaction.
Unless your name's Wes Nasty and you have 4 Ks in 2 innings like he had.
But
today.
that's the thing. We already knew. We already saw it from what was. That's why I'm not picking him, because I already
so
knew.
These 2 guys are competing for the 5th starter spot.
But what happens if they're both better than?
I want that to happen.
Me too. That means that
That'd
they're
be great, because then we can trade Sampson to the Sox for Sheets.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, who are we getting now?
Sampson, you're still getting.
I don't want this.
Well,
I'm out. I'm out on this.
And like it.
I am out on that deal. So my overreaction is that the White Sox are okay in right field.
Oh.
I think, as I
Rick
mentioned
Hahn
earlier,
finally did it.
I think Gavin Sheets worked on his defense enough, not like Chuck Garfien putting him in the All-Star game, but like I think he worked on it enough where he's not going to be a massive liability in right field. And swing's looking good. He hit a couple bombs already. I think that's the big lefty bat that they need. But story here is my guy Oscar Colas. He's hitting almost 500 in spring training. He's seeing some at bats. It's not like he's 1 for 2. Like he's getting up there, and I've already seen some people on White Sox they're all singles. I don't give a fuck.
By the way, that's what I was doing. I was playing right into that when
I know. I know. Although I've known you for long enough, when I know when you're doing this shit. So, but but they're all singles. No, all I care about right now is that this kid is seeing the ball well from major league pitchers, which he is. He's working counts. He's taking the ball to the opposite field. He's going with pitches. We all know he has power. We all saw all the fucking minor league videos from last year of him hitting absolute cock shots all over the goddamn field. I know the power's there. My biggest thing right now was composure, working counts, going with pitches. And he's doing that right now. I mean, he hasn't had any opportunity to make any great plays in the field, but we've seen, again, that he's capable of making those plays. And we talked about it a little bit on last week's show, having Benintendi in left. And then if you have a guy like Oscar Colas in right, who's a pretty above average fielder, that's going to take a lot more off of Luis Robert Jr.'s plate. And
Well,
I think make him a better player for it.
I would even say just because you got 2 Gold Glovers in Benintendi and Robert in center, that makes it easier on Sheets. Like you said, it's improving a bit. I still wouldn't call. I mean, he's a fine right fielder. He's improving, I guess.
Yep.
But if Colas, like they don't say he's ready after spring training, and all signs point that
That's
he is.
horseshit.
He needs a little more seasoning. Like you got a reliable backup guy with Sheets there that will be serviceable
Yes.
in right field.
That's what I'm saying.
Really
Yes.
embarrass everyone. So I actually do think that's a good point. And it also, because Coles is going to go through his growing pains. Like it's going to
Oh,
happen.
fuck yeah.
Pitchers are going to figure him out. He's going to go through like a rough stretch. So it's nice to have a little bit of insurance there, which is my big concern heading into the offseason.
Insurance.
All
Yep.
these scrubs. So I'm glad Sheets is having a nice spring.
Yes.
You guys missed one. You guys missed the best right fielder that's solving your problems.
Who that?
Eloy.
Oh, you did that.
I'm good.
Like he's gonna be playing. He's going to be playing.
I will say
Eloy's
Eloy-
motivated. And
Eloy
fly
is
balls getting shit.
fucking svelte. That boy slimmed down.
Did you drop the
and-
baby fat?
Yes, he tightened up. Tweet like a twigger. he tweeting that up. But I was the first spring training game that was on, he came up to bat, and I guess it was the first time I saw like his side profile, when he's in the batter's box. And I was like, where the fuck? That's half of Eloy. Like he's lost. Like he dropped the baby fat, tweeting it up, and he's looking fucking lean and mean, man. And that's another, I guess, overreaction is that Eloy could be an all-star this year because he's hitting the ball fucking well. But it's tough to make an
Eloy's
all-star
always
game
had that. Yep, he's always had
as a
that game.
DH.
Yeah.
But Fids, hit us with your Cubs spring training observation / overreaction.
Okay, so first is the overreaction. The overreaction. I'm happy Cody Bellinger hit the ball really well today. He had got his first hit as a Cub. But I think the overreaction is some dude threw out a 4 split screen video of 2019
That
Cody
video is
Bellinger,
ridiculous, dude.
2021 and 22 and 23, and like, oh, look at this. Look at his pre. Everyone's freaking out about Cody Bellinger's pre-pitch stance. Now, when you watch the rest of the video and you actually look at the swing plane and the hips and where he's driving from, it's the same swing as 2022. It's nothing like 2019. Hips are different. Ass is different. Front side is different. He's more open in 2019.
Get the ass
Today,
up for the ladies.
He did
That's
hit
what
a
we
deep
got.
ball today to right center. And I'm telling you right now, if he'd have opened up his hips,
Hold on,
They
I'll find
opened up
that
that
stupid ass
drive.
video that people are tweeting.
that ball in right center would have left the yard. He's forfeiting power right now because he's too closed off. He's not able to drive his hips through the baseball as well as he should.
Yep,
That
that took me
is
all of 2 seconds to
overreaction.
find this video because I knew
Absolutely.
Dom would have it up right away.
Oh, absolutely. Dom had some. He had one of these 108 towels on top and some lotion. Is what he was
I don't
doing.
think Dom would be
Actually,
welcome to the
they did a really good reply to one of those tweets, and that was something when I was playing in high school. Like they always said, the stand because it was oh, look at the new stance. Stance doesn't matter as long as you're getting set in a hitter's position before the pitch comes. Like Kevin Youkilis had the ridiculous stance.
Did they
He
just
got into the good hitter's position once the pitch.
Did they just take these pictures at different times? Like, is he just pumping the bat down real quick? and
No,
they took this
because
picture?
when you play the video, it's the same. His pre-pitch, watch it again. But now, look where his front side is in 2019. Look where his front side is in 2021, 22, and 23. Which one looks more similar at the point of contact of
22
these
and 23.
Yeah, absolutely. And 21
I
is
was
not that
really,
far behind.
really good at that bar game when you had the naked lady pictures and you had to find the differences. This is kind of like what that is.
Finding, doing the backside of the highlights magazine.
Now we're in my wheelhouse, man. No, I was at the end of the bar, the bar top one with the naked ladies.
But yeah, I mean, look at his hands in 2022 and 2023, and then look at his hands. Yeah, his hands in 2021 are a little bit more compact. But
2021 is the anomaly here. This is completely different than these three.
Yeah, but they were freaking out saying, "Oh God!" And someone actually today said, oh, "It's the pre." It basically saying it's his stance. My God, I'm like, bro.
Yeah, this is identical.
Yeah.
These three are identical. This one is completely different.
Yep. He's closed. Look how open look at his front foot. Look where his front foot is already in 2019. Look at the direction it's moving compared to the direction it's moving in 21, 22, and 23. It's moving his in 2019. He's actually pulling off the baseball, which helps him get those inside pitches, which is
definitely he definitely did some more squats in 2023 too, because he must work out.
Or more Del Taco.
That's looking 2 C's on the thick. It's not 3. He's not at 3 yet.
But like again, look at his hands.
He's up more upright here. These are fucking identical. So I don't know what the hell these people are smoking, because
that's the overreaction. They were grasping onto something. You tell them that he's wearing his pocket out of his back pocket's weight. It's out now. That means in 2023 he's gonna hit a homer, because in 2019 his back pocket came out all the time. Oh God, this shit's
identical. This is the same fucking swing.
And that did not fruit very good results last year.
Fruit.
So yeah, that's my overreaction. But I'm super stoked about the positive start of the young Cubs pitchers, Killian, and obviously Wes Nasty. So that makes me happy.
Okay.
So I'm overreacting on that, because Aldo and I were talking a little bit about like Smiley and stuff, and I'm like, because Smiley, I mean, he's a veteran. He's thrown 2 pitches. That dude will be ready, or 2 innings. He'll be ready when it's time to be ready, because he's a veteran. But
I have another overreaction.
Better spring. I don't know.
Do you want to go one more round of overreactions?
What did I tell you, Zoe? We have lots to talk about.
I know. I'm very excited about this. Because I already got a really big topic that we need to discuss.
Ain't Rita losing?
Are they? They were winning at the end of the third, but only by 2, so they might have lost.
They did lose.
They lost?
Oh yeah.
That's a big upset. God damn. Well, that sucks. But anyway, their core 3 are juniors. They'll be back next week. Next year. But go ahead, Aldo. Hit it again.
Dansby Swanson looks weird in a Cubs uniform.
I don't know. That is an overreaction.
Somebody else brought it up on Twitter, and then I looked back on my screen because he was up to bat. 2 walks, by the way. Play discipline, baby. I think he needs to go with the socks up, because I don't know, it just looks weird. He needs to go with the socks up. Also, my actual overreaction. David Bodie has had I think he had shoulder surgery at the end of 2021. Still had shoulder issues 2022. And he's done this before. I think in 2021, he was great in spring training, and then it didn't fucking matter. But David Bodie is on fire. I think he's 6 for 8. Again, spring training doesn't mean anything.
You mean the guy that was good enough to replace Chris Bryant?
That's right.
Patrick Wisdom.
David Bodie, I think, is going to get traded in 3 weeks, because he looks healthy again. So somebody is going to want him.
Yep. He'd be great.
He's off the 40-man roster. So the Cubs, I think, have made it pretty obvious that they're ready to move on. But if he keeps hitting, I think he's going to get traded.
But he hit that grand slam that one time.
Mitch?
So I'll let you go since I went first last time, because I feel like mine's going to take us into the bench discussion for the White Sox.
It is, because that's where we're going next. So my other one. All right, I got to pick one out of the 2, but Yasmani Grandal looks healthy. He straight up dropped a pitch, which that's not great, but
classic, yes.
He was able to pop up, recover, and throw the runner out at second, which also shady on that play was a great thing to see. Was Elvis Andrus, who's playing second for the first time in his career, feel very comfortable coming over and making the tag from the right side of the bag, flawless motion, fluid. But Yaz is still slower than dog shit. He might be the slowest player in the history of Major League Baseball. What was his speed on
MLB The Show? 1?
2. I don't know what the rankings are going to be this year, but And that's out of 99, folks. If you're
That
playing
man
at
was-
I mean,
home.
hey, doubled what I thought.
He's
so.
finishing third in that race. If he's racing,
But
I mean, he was like literally 3 points from moonwalking
yeah,
out of
he's
the box.
I mean, he's brutally slow, but it was really good to see him pop up, get the ball, and make the play at second. He doesn't make that play last year. That play does not get made. And so that was really good to see. He looks kind of not as much as Eloy, but he looks like he's thinned out a little bit, which apparently that's the way to go because bulking sucks. And also, as I mentioned earlier, he's looking great at the plate because he's getting the base hits into deep right field when he's pulling the ball that were taken away from the shift last year. And he's very open about it. I've already seen 2 interviews where he's just like, yeah, I'm very fucking happy that's gone. Would like to see a little pop. Again, it's been like 4 spring training games, but he even hit a couple doubles. It's good. So I don't know about the only player on the team, but yeah. So that's my other hot take is Yaz is back. Fids.
All right.
We'll go Fids and then Mitch. You take us into the bench convo.
I think this is tough. Well, I mean, the Cubs are actually winning spring training games, but I think another overreaction is, and it's me actually. I'm the one overreacting. Kevin Alcantara looks good at the plate. Cubs prospect. He's the number 2 ranked prospect in the Cubs system. He's 6'7" almost. He's a beast. He's a freak show, and he's going to be, I think, the best player in the Cubs farm system. One day he's going to be one of the best. He's a true superstar, I think, in the making. He got 2 hits in his first game, and he did not look lost at all. And everyone looks lost. I remember, if you can jump back to last year, Pete Crow, Armstrong, and them, they looked lost or they looked out of place. He didn't look out of place. He looked like he wanted to be there. He looked like he should be there, and he looks like he will be there in a year. So I think I'm the overreaction because I think that Kevin Alcantara is going to be a 2024 starter on the Chicago Cubs baseball team.
2024.
Yeah, but I think that
I just want to make sure that's clear. 2024 starter.
Yeah,
which
he's only
is
20. He barely turned 20 years old. So
yeah,
give him some time.
Yeah. So he's
can't all be Juan Soto.
Fairly not a teenager. So he's basically going to be 21 when he's contributing in the major league level, and that to me is exciting. And that's my overreaction. That's me.
All right, that's fair. No, that's perfect. All right, Mitch.
What up, senior?
All right. I know I'm going to get some flack for this one.
I love the preference.
I agree. Most of White Sox, almost all of White Sox Twitter are not going to agree. But I'll be honest, I got a segment called the NASCAR Minute, so clearly I don't give a shit what other people think on this baseball podcast.
No, man.
With what Berger has been doing and how Sheets have looked, there's a lot of questions, especially with Andrus now, and they're like, oh, Romy could be the utility guy. A lot of people are like, oh, is Leury going to get forced out finally? And everyone's happy about this. I think Leury Garcia gets way too much hate. I don't think I think he deserves the spot on the roster. I think he should have his secured. I think he had a down year last year, but so did a lot of guys. I'm not going to come out in here and say he's a superstar. But in the last 4 seasons, he's been top 5 on the White Sox in hits twice. 2021, he was top 5 in RBIs, top 5 in doubles, top 5 in triples, top 5 stolen bases. He can play a bunch of different positions. He can switch hit. Now, mind you, I know he doesn't do all of them well, but that is a good guy to have on a bench for a championship level team. He gets way more flack than he deserves. And Tony La Russa, look, I don't like Tony, but he's been around a long time. He knows a lot of good players. He was propping my boy Lou Dog up last year. I know he was partly senile at that point, but he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. All right. I don't think he's just going to talk him up if he was a total scrub. Leury is not a bad player. It's way more hate than he deserves, and he should have a spot on the bench. I don't think his roster spot should be in question at this point, and people just like to hate him because it's the popular thing to do on Twitter. So I don't think Sheets Hot Twitter is
was it, Mitch, was it last year where he was statistically the worst player in baseball, or was that 2 years ago?
They completely misused him.
So just bringing everybody away.
I'm sorry. I had it.
Well, I know he was bad, but he shouldn't have been used in that role. That's not what he was brought in.
He was
Players,
definitely.
it doesn't matter how bad the organization is. Like any organization, you don't stick around that long if you're doing something wrong. There's a reason he's been.
This is a well-known fact on this show.
Yes.
Where he had more hits than Mike Trout in 2020?
2019, I think.
2019. We still got to print that shirt too.
That was our first shirt idea.
Well, what did they tell you the last
stat comp?
Mitch
Rick Pitino used him as his leadoff guy, and then Tony wouldn't let anyone call him a utility player in press conferences. So his last two managers have really liked him. All of his teammates like him. Stop the Liuri hate. I'm a
Look-
Liuri fan. I've said it. I'm coming out of the closet. I'm a Liuri fan.
Whoa,
Mitch-
whoa, 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 please tell me you clipped that, Aldo. Please tell me you can clip that. Did you catch that?
Mitch,
I'm sorry. I was reading the comment
know
by
I
Ian. Shit. What
I
was
know,
it? What
but
was
Mitch just screamed, "I'm coming out of the closet."
it's pretty much happening.
All right.
Mitch, I'm gonna say this right now. You just
Hey, Mitch,
when-
by the way,
when
Put
Zoe
that
said
on us.
that,
Wait,
man.
wait. We can hit several demographics here.
that's-
Put that on a shirt.
Mitch,
Breaking
man,
the
we're
rules.
just so you know, we welcome that, bud.
Yes.
This is a safe
Hey,
space.
I'm
Hey,
kind
buddy.
of so, yeah.
We
That's
accept
not how that was meant, but
we accept you for who you are, buddy. I don't.
See on the front of the shirt, it says "I'm coming out of the closet" on the back, or we can do either way. And then on the back it says "as a Larry Garcia supporter."
Yeah,
I'm coming out as a Lurie Garcia support.
Support it.
So I would say this:
That was
the best
cool.
part about that was that Zoe was going to go, and Mitch was like, "Hold up!" It's like a relay and a relay race. You're like, "Hold up! I'm running anchor for this relay." He let Zoe go first because he had the Lurie bomb waiting on deck, and
Yep.
he just like lit the fuse and literally detonated the entire bridge with it. That was fantastic, dude.
Mitch, you're getting a lot of support in the comments, bud.
That's good to see.
Everybody's very happy for you, bud. You're very
Congratulations.
brave, very brave.
Hopefully my girlfriend's not listening to this podcast.
Well, that brings us to a good point, though, because this is
Just
what I
don't
think.
tell your audience in Missouri.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, you might wanna, don't slip that in the cattle report. You might, but
Jeez.
that is actually a pretty. The White Sox starting lineup is pretty much set in stone. I mean, that is what it is. But the big discussion, what I think, is what does the White Sox bench look like? And that kind of brings me back to the point that I said I'll give Beeflove credit because he's the one that kind of started this train of thought for me. Is are they wasting Jake Burger? Jake Burger hits. All right. Period. End of sentence. He's always hit. The only problem is it's hard to carry a guy on your bench who's another righty who doesn't really have a position in the field.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to carry him on your bench. Now, you got to figure Lurie, love him, hate him, really love him, wherever you're at with him, he's going to be on that bench. All right. I think Sheets is on that bench. Power left-handed back and play first, DH, or right field. And again, power left-handed bat. Your boy Seby's got to be on the bench.
Need a backup catcher.
He had a nice
Good in
bomb.
spring training early too.
He had a nice bomb.
Sebi for starter. That should have been your overreaction, bitch.
I'm not.
Now, it's really this fourth spot to me. Is it Romy? He's not having a bad spring either. Is it Billy Hamilton? Because right now, out of the names I named, you have no pitch runner. You have no speed on that bench.
Leori.
Blue dog.
He's not fast, but
Hey,
Fast enough to be a leadoff.
I mean, faster compared to the rest of the.
so we got one vote in the comments by Mamich, Sebi, Lurie, Romy, Sheets.
I think that's probably it.
Burger, he always has a spot. I think Missy's about the Burger. Andy's on Burger. Yeah, and I think this is a very, very good point too by Matty Mitch. Someone's gonna get hurt. Probably Yohan Moncada, because
Ah. Come on, Zoe. Come on. You're supposed to be positive.
I know, but I'm.
I was positive.
he had a pretty decent game today. He's had an up and down spring. I mean, the feeling's always there with Moncada. It's just he's fragile, man. I hope he proves me wrong this year, but that's where Jake Burger comes into play. Is as depth for Yohan Moncada. It sucks not being able to carry that bat because the man hits. The man hits. It's just tough to carry another fucking righty that doesn't have a position.
Do you know which burger you really want to eat?
This Padres pitch is shitting bricks right now. Why? Because Danny fucking Burgers is up and back. Guy just ordered Shake Shack straight to the dugout.
Right.
Every time I hear burger, I'm like, I just need
Who's
some.
your bench, Mitch?
I think in a I would like Berger over. I think it'd be Seb, Leary, Rami Sheets. I think is the bench. I would replace Gonzalez with Berger in a perfect world, but Gonzalez makes more sense because he can play more positions.
Yep.
And he's pretty quick. And you got your like hitter, your big bat.
I didn't know Romy was that quick until I saw that play. He was shading towards center field. He was playing left. He was more in like left center, and the ball was hit into the deepest corner in left field. Like
Baseball Savant had him as one of the fastest guys in the MLB last year. He was top 10 percentile in speed.
So I guess that's your pitch runner. But I mean, does Billy Hamilton have they can option Billy Hamilton, right?
I don't think
I got to imagine they can.
No, he can. He's a veteran guy. He can decline the assignment. Or I'm not sure how the deal was. Like if it's like by June 15. Some of those deals are like you can send him to the minors to the beginning of the year, but like once it gets to like a certain date, the player can opt out and be a free agent again. I don't know if that's his deal, but it's not like he's a.
I mean, we all love Billy. It's hard not to root for Billy Hamilton. It's just.
I want Billy to make the team. It makes no sense because all he can do is run. He's not that good.
He can run. He's a good defensive replacement late in games, but like ideally you won't need that as much this year because Eloy won't be out there as much. But I don't know. And I know you just did your whole spiel about Larry Garcia, but you got to have the best guys out there, man. And if it comes to it at point of the season, it might not be Larry Garcia.
No, I mean, I get it. I still think he's better than Gonzalez.
And I agree with you because I do agree that he was misused. I've said it on the show countless amount of times. World Series teams have guys like Larry Garcia on the bench as a utility guy. It's just if Romy is a younger, faster, better version of Larry Garcia, then it becomes redundant.
That's yet to be seen.
Yeah, no, and I agree. It's yet to be seen.
Hitting aspect as well.
So it's interesting though. It is interesting. I wish there was another spot for Billy Hamilton though.
So with Sheets, Sheets as one of the bench guys, do you guys have like set in stone? Colas is going to be the right field.
I really am interested to hear the line of bullshit they're going to try to hand out when he does not start the team in right field.
It'll probably be like a Chris Bryant, like Reyes will be the starter for the first 2 weeks, and all of a sudden, hey, he improved.
It's going to be just a perfect, like textbook Han, complete line of bullshit. Hit me with it, Mitch.
Well, based off projections, we thought he needed a little bit more seasoning. AAA Charlotte. We're always looking to improve the roster, and we just didn't feel he was major league ready at this point.
Keep going.
Check the boxes. Check the boxes. Check the boxes.
We got Andrew Benintendi out in left field. We think it's a really good pickup that will really help us batten down the hatches in left field for us.
Oh, we're getting into it. Just get into it,
baby.
Him in his tight pants and the slimming pinstripe uniform. Really a great pickup. Back to Oscar. I mean,
sorry. Yeah, sorry. Back to Oscar. We're talking about Oscar. No, but it's gonna be like some bullshit like that. Or he's just be like, it's really important that Oscar checks all the boxes before we were able to, give him the full blah 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 blah. That's bullshit.
Well, I was gonna say, if you have Sheets as one of the bench guys and then Colas starting in AAA, then I think you can find a space for because I think then Sheets would be the starting right fielder,
right?
And then I think at that point, then you can have Billy Hamilton on the bench, maybe.
That's fair. Yeah.
What do the options look like too? Like
another going back, Leary.
Oh, you're good with Colas. Colas can go down anytime. He hasn't been up.
I wasn't sure what he had. Yeah.
With how much they're paying Leary too, do you really think they're going to eat that money? That's the other reason I think
it's $3 million. I mean, it's not $30 million.
I still
12.
But
don't disrespect Larry. Got that like that? Didn't he get like $5 million?
I think he did get $5 million, but I don't know, man. If for some typical standard White Sox bullshit, Colas starts in AAA, then Sheets is your starting right fielder, and then you probably have a guy like Billy Hamilton on your bench, or a Jake Marisnik, or I tell you what, the at bats I've seen from Marisnik, I'm not really impressed.
Cubs legend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For some weird reason, some of these other White Sox shows, like they keep bringing up Marisnik. I
It's
feel like
because he-
I feel like I'm dumb,
will
like
it
I'm
to
missing something.
Trying to
It's
will it.
It's he's fast. He plays good defense and center. That's really
He's a
That's what
great
it-
defensive replacement, but
Yep.
you
Yeah.
can't
Good ladies guy. Yep.
Well, if you start the season with Sheets as your starting right fielder, you need a good defensive replacement on the bench.
yeah.
But
so-
then I would think Victor Reyes has the edge because he's a slightly better hitter than Marisnik.
that's true. Yep. There you go.
But Billy Hamilton,
Vibes got to count the vibes.
yeah,
Yep.
people love the vibes. No one's vibe is higher than Billy Hamilton.
Well, especially too. This is the other factor with Billy. Pedro Grifol's made it clear he wants his team to run, and they're going to steal a lot more bases this year. And who's better to do that than a Billy Hamilton?
Yeah, he already
And
stole a base this spring.
Bruhan Luke would have it like a stroke. He'd be so
Billy,
excited.
Billy had a nice double, stole third. It was beautiful.
Billy's got a
Oh.
shake. You know, it's going to be a dogfight for those last.
Speaking of stealing bases and talking about the new rule changes, I haven't noticed the bigger bases at all.
No, not once. I've watched a couple games now. Like I watched the Yankees Nationals game today and everything, and just
If they never shared like the photos on like the first day of spring training when like all the reporters were lined up, I wouldn't have noticed.
Well,
You don't have like some sort of like frame of reference though for it either. So it's out there all
That's
by
true.
itself on the grass, and it's not hard to not notice. What is it? 8 inches a difference?
Oh, I mean that's a huge difference. I'd say
No, that's 4 inches each side is really what it is. But it's not. It's
good
Four
size.
inches goes a lot. I
mean,
these days.
yeah,
You
4
can do
inches.
it- hey, you can do
Hey,
a lot with 4
hey,
inches.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Four
Hey.
inches goes a lot longer these days. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's easier to
But,
reach 4 inches than. Never mind.
I will say too, as a big vibes guy, as one on the commission of the vibes committee,
The VC, of course.
yes, bringing in Elvis Andrews
Still be a part of the vibe department.
Yeah.
eases the
Oh,
pain
the VD.
of Billy Hamilton not making the team, because Elvis, immaculate vibes
great
off of
vibes
Elvis.
guy.
Great vibe.
And
That's it. No, that
I mean, his swing looks good, and for him, he looks like he's been playing second base for a while. He doesn't look like a guy trying to figure it out, is what I'm saying. I mean, is he going to make mistakes? Of course, everybody fucking makes mistakes, but the diving catch, the getting over to make tags, the glove side, the base and cover, the guy's a fucking pro, man.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
we've known that from the beginning. It's not some kid that they're forcing to play outfield when he's never played before in his life, and he should be a first baseman.
He didn't even have to be out there right now at his age. He didn't even have to be here.
two-time All-Star too. I mean,
Right.
people forget that he was an important piece of a very good Rangers team for a while.
Yeah. Adrian Beltran, dude. Those videos of those two fucking around with each other are fucking hilarious. But
Who- for all you guys, who are your favorite vibe guys right now for Sox or Cubs?
for the White Sox, I'm
Your number one vibe guy. Like who's got the vibe?
Elvis is more of like a professional positive vibe, but I mean, it's hard to argue TA, dude. TA's just got like that cool, I don't know. I like
I'm
TA.
surprised you didn't go Lance Lynn. That's my vibe guy.
Lance Lynn doesn't even have a vibe. Lance Lynn is
Oh,
just
are you kidding?
Lance Lynn is
Lance's vibe is a line dance.
When you watch a Lance Lynn inning where he has a big strikeout, you don't need pre-workout or anything. You just get fired up. That's a vibe.
I mean,
Lance
I
Lynn
just-
is.
I
His
see a
vibe
lot
is-
of myself in Lance Lynn, so it's hard for me to like
I see a lot of you in
in what?
Jake Deacon.
Oh,
Deekman. Your boy, the
Yeah.
D-man.
yeah, but
I mean-
Lance looks like he'll drink 30 beers and then go on the mound and just call someone a slapdick motherfucker. And
His vibe is the copperhead.
Eloy is really good. Eloy has pretty high vibes too. Eloy's a very positive, very upbeat vibe. And again, I am very impressed on. I guess it just caught me so off guard, just how it seriously looks like half of Eloy, but the power's still there. But it's just yeah, it's a tough one. So I will be very honest. I don't even have a read on a Cubs vibe guy. I couldn't even tell you.
I can't blame you though, because I was trying to think, but I was thinking hard. And I mean, there's Christopher Morel, Great vibes guy when he came up last year.
Yeah, I did like his.
Not
He
like
did have.
Burrell based off everything you heard and saw from last year. He's
Yeah.
great with the fans. He plays.
Yeah.
What's not to like about him?
So he's definitely a guy that comes up. I mean, this is like an underrated because like, I mean, I don't know, but every time you hear him talk, like all the Cubs, most of the Cubs spring training games, it's on marquee. Whenever they're playing home games, you'll get like the dugout interviews. He was interviewed by Taylor McGregor during Wednesday's game. Nico Hoerner, just every time he's on screen, his fucking smile, I like the biggest man crush on Nico Hoerner. Kevin, I think you'd agree.
Welcome
Just
to the club, Charter
Oh,
Founders.
no. Since the beginning, Kevin, I've been fighting an uphill battle here, comparing him to Zoe's boy at the time, comparing that 2018 draft class. But Nico Hoerner, like, because like it's not like he's like the most over the top guy. He's never going to be that, which is great. Everyone doesn't have to be the same, but he just always sounds positive, always smiling, great smile. Just it looks like he's having fun out there, enjoying playing baseball.
I liked
Nico Hoerner, underrated vibes guy.
I like the praise that Nico got from Pete Crow Armstrong. I think Fidge, you
Yeah.
shared it to the group,
Yep.
where that kid who is arguably one of the future faces of your franchise said, guys like Nico is taking me under his wing and showing me how to play MLB level baseball the right way. And it's like,
He basically
that's
said,
the highest praise you can give a guy.
he's like, if you think about the Cubs and what the Cubs are as a baseball team, it is Nico Hoerner.
Yeah.
Ian Happ is kind of a sneaky vibes guy.
Ian Happ,
He
yeah.
loses me with the John Boy shit.
And all
But-
the coffee.
Yeah.
He's the Dom. He's with Dom. No
Yeah.
offense, Dom, but I'm like, that's not my thing. But that's just like that toxic masculinity.
I think usually every year I have one or two Cubs that I'm like, yeah, I fucks with that guy. And Nico's definitely.
Well,
one
I
of
think
those
you know
guys.
who it's going to be. We haven't really seen a
So
lot.
Marcus,
It's going to
so
be.
happy.
I think it's going to be Cody Bellinger. I
Well,
think Cody Bellinger's going to be a
Belly's,
big vibes
Belly's
guy.
that dude, man. I wanted Belly on the White Sox so bad. I
Yeah.
really did.
He's been my favorite he's been my favorite non-Cubs player like for
Well, Mitch loves Trey Mancini. That's who he
5,
wants.
6 years.
Yeah.
And
Mancini, immaculate vibe.
Yeah.
he's-
Stroman lost me with some of the social media shit this offseason.
He lost me as soon as he said he wanted to be a Giant right after he signed with the Cubs. I'm not even a Cubs fan, and that pissed me off. He's like, what are you doing?
Cubs on the Cubs, like the two guys. I'm talking about like the interviews. Every single time they were on TV last year, Justin Steele and Keegan Thompson, huge vibe guys. Like Justin
Okay.
Steele is just a good old country boy. Love the accent.
Haas vibes.
Yeah, like he just is a great dude. Keegan Thompson the same way. You would think like, oh, like a little younger. They haven't really been like highly touted prospects, but they had early success. You might think like, oh, like they might be a little full of themselves or whatever. Like no, like completely down to earth dudes. They'll answer like every question. They'll have fun with you. The interviewers, whoever it is. So those are on the pitching side. Those two.
This is really
That's
an
why
interesting
I was
comment.
Nathan, who is no longer with.
This is a really interesting comment from our guy Ian in the comment, and I've been listening to you guys, but I can't. I'm thinking. He says, "I'm hoping that Abreu being gone took away the guy's safety net, and we get the Bill Simmons, Patrick Ewing effect out of our Sox." I find that's a really good point, though.
I am not familiar. What is the Patrick Ewing effect? Ouch.
Knicks got good once Patrick Ewing was no longer
Once he was
a viable
Yeah.
option.
So
they had to
they-
act like a team
yeah.
instead of having to dish off to somebody else.
So
They
these
couldn't rely
guys,
on it.
basically,
Okay.
you remove the face of the franchise, the captain, the leader. and
Well,
he's-
Kevin, remember Vegas, dude. What happened to the Nationals? After Bryce Harper signed
yeah.
the big deal with the Phillies, they won it the very next year.
yeah, so that it's like that. That's a very good.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
but that's going to be really interesting because now, a lot of these guys like a Tim Anderson and Luis Robert Jr. and Yohan Moncada and all these guys, you can't just say like, oh, it's cool. Jose's going to get us or he'll pick it up. Like you can't
Right.
do that anymore. You got to be the fucking guy.
Okay.
I
And
think it's an intriguing point, but I would rather have Abreu on my team than not at the end of the day. But like, I
we'll
think they're
see.
chip on their
And-
shoulders anyway. But I think it's a very interesting point. It could very well play out. But after the way last season went, with or without Abreu, I think a lot of these guys were coming in.
That Nets example is good too because Davey Martinez won. It was year 2, but he won the World Series in year 2. You've got a first-year coach, but that has a little more experience as a manager, at least in some shape, than Davey Martinez had, though. And they finished second in the East in 2018, his first year too. So you always want to get your shot. White Sox got to get to the dance before you can actually dance. So
Oh no, I mean we got 162 games to play. You know what I mean? Like, yep. I mean, the best thing is the regular season starts this month. Like we've made it. We're here. And it's just I wish you guys as Cubs fans are. I was thinking about this today too. You're extremely lucky to have the Marquee Network in the.
I saw your tweet
watch,
though.
that you can watch all of the Cubs spring training games because it absolutely sucks.
Kind of, yeah.
end of the pose.
You're refreshing MLB.com. Like
It sucks.
Nice.
For Cubs fans listening, tuning in on YouTube, subscribe, listening on the podcast. If you guys don't have the ability to watch Marquee on your TV, the DMs are open. I'll hook you up.
And we'll be doing playbacks.
And we'll be doing playbacks
So-
hopefully soon.
This is crazy too. Side note, I didn't have a subscription to MLB.TV
I
last
saw
year.
that too.
Didn't have a subscription last year. I canceled it last spring before anything. And yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I had a PayPal charge for $149.99. I subscribed to MLB.TV.
Were you drunk?
Oh, no. Literally auto subscription. It was an auto subscription. I have no idea. Like I actually called. They're like, oh, it's an auto subscription. I'm like, from what?
That is one of the fun parts about it, though. Is you like Missy said, she listened to the game on the Guardian side, and it was pretty fucking funny. There was 5 ads for lubes.
And didn't the dudes break up
All right.
saying the guy's name Cox?
Yeah,
I mean, if you need to be
Call-
resourceful, you gotta
call-
put the lube
call-
anywhere you get it.
but it drives me like today. I'm working, and I would love to have had the White Sox Guardian, especially because these guys are going to the World Baseball Classic, so the lineups are like
Yeah.
regular season lineups, and I'm like, I really want to watch that at least 1 or 2 times. So it just sucks. And then I see you guys like posting clips from the Cubs and shit. I'm like, God damn it, I want to watch.
And I'm sure
game.
it's been like this for the Sox. Like normally, you think about spring training, it's like, oh, like they'll get in there, they'll get like their first at bat, they'll play a couple innings in the
Yeah.
field, and then like they're quickly replaced. Like at least for the Cubs, like there's been a few games now. Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, they're playing. They get 3 at bats. They're playing into the 6th inning.
I could see why Dansby would want to do that though. New team,
Yes,
yeah.
But like it's been like multiple guys, like even Ian Happ, like they've gotten at least, I think every game, like at least 2 at bats, playing at least half the game early on in the first week of spring training. But yeah, no, I've never gotten that Zoe. Like with Jerry Reinsdorf owns like like 80% of fucking NBC Sports
Right.
Chicago or whatever it is.
Put the fucking games on, asshole.
Yeah, and like I get it. I get it costs money to put on the broadcast. You need this.
But you know what else it does, although it gets people excited to go to
Exactly.
regular season games.
You have a product. Show your product.
Was there a reason? Like today's game, for example, today's game, I actually clicked on a bunch of games today. There was like 4 games that there was audio only. There were no broadcasts.
It's all over baseball.
Yeah, so the Cubs were the game of the day on MLB.TV. So that was maybe like the only one of maybe 1 or 2 games that were actually televised.
Yeah,
Because everybody else was like,
I had to watch the
I haven't seen KB's Homer. I haven't seen KB's Homer yet.
I had to watch the Yankees national ESPN gargle the Yankees nuts fest for 2.5 hours. Oh my god, it was brutal, dude. Holy shit.
Well, at least it was only 2.5 hours though, and not 4.
The only good thing about it was I got to watch Josh Donaldson make errors.
Suck.
There you go. That's always fun.
That was the only thing. So, but oh my god, everything, especially Jesus. It's like, okay, guys, we get it.
Third baseman
What about third baseman?
Nick Madrigal has been good,
Damn right he is.
and I don't think. I mean, if you've been paying any attention to Nick Madrigal, you shouldn't have ever been worried about like, oh, how is he going to be fielding at third base? He's a good.
How's the
fielder.
arm look?
He's a good fielder.
Okay.
Great fielder.
He was a shortstop in college. He can get it across the diamond.
He made a throw on Tuesday. Great pick. It was a short hop, like right by the third base bag. Did a great job coming in fielding the ball. He took a fucking crow hop, like in front of third base to get a throw over.
I mean, yeah, he's just
Guy out, though?
body into it. Yeah. He's like a hummingbird, bro. He's got like hummingbird arms.
I saw one of the funniest tweets ever.
Like
It was like
hummingbird wings, like pew, pew.
somebody was already tweeting. I think it was a White Sox fan, by the way. They're like, Nick Magical is going to be the first player to get Tommy John surgery from throwing a ball from third base.
His arms aren't long enough to have. I don't even think he has that tendon. His arms are too short. It's like a T-Rex throwing the ball across
And
the
here's
diamond.
the thing, all the throws he's made, they've been fine. They've been good. Like again,
It's like an Iron
good
Man.
job. I'm glad. But they've all been like shorter throws. Like what is going to happen when has to make a play behind third base?
Well,
I
He's
mean,
already
he's
putting
the starting third baseman, so I don't think
he's
that'll be-
already putting all his fucking strength behind these like
You know what he's gonna do?
medium depth throws.
He's gonna play that small willow body length from the baseline, and that's where he's gonna set up every time. So everything that he fields will be to his left, so he can come through the baseball. That's all he's gonna end up doing. So that 6 hole is gonna be a little bit more open for the Cubs. But guess what you got? Dansby Swanson at short, a guy that can go to his
Oh,
left.
like I
Nobody
know,
else
man.
can
and
hit.
I think you wrote about it,
Actually
right,
works.
Mitch?
It worked.
How his arm was like below average at second base.
Yeah. Well, I was saying the Sox shouldn't trade for him. I'm still a Nick Magical defender. Just I don't want him on my team anymore. But I think he'll be fine on the bench for you.
He could be the backup for Yohan Moncada at third base. There you go.
No, Jake Berger.
God.
Jake Berger. Jake Berger.
No, Jake Berger.
Berger.
You just said that he doesn't have a position, so
Yeah, but it's third base. I mean, he's
I would
fucking
be more
cheeks at
concerned
third,
about
but
Magical being healthy for a full season. That was like the biggest red flag.
Yes.
Because even in the shortened season, he couldn't stay healthy for the full season. So if he gets through a full 162 games with a respectable batting average,
I mean the Dodgers just lost Gavin Lux, so if they need another infielder,
that sucks.
Yeah,
I
the
hate
Cubs
when
have
that
a whole
shit
bunch.
happens.
that does suck.
I
Wasn't
hate
he
when
in
that
the
shit
season
happens.
plan?
Yeah,
Yeah, see. He would have fit right in with the White Sox. Injured in spring training.
oh man, imagine if that like the Sox finally make a ballsy trade, and then oh my god, that's like when
Yeah.
fucking Nomar, remember Kevin Nomar Garcia-Parra, like a week into the season after he re-signed, tears this fucking entire groin muscle right off the bone.
Yep. Mhm.
God damn.
yeah. I mean,
Omar without thinking of Rick Hahn. Well,
ooh, here's an idea.
a lot of untapped.
Oh.
Okay.
Now we're cooking with fire here, Senor Sox. I like
What are we
this.
getting back?
Trade Lurie to the Dodgers.
What are we getting back?
Give me a pitcher.
Some
Would-
Phillips.
They got a million of them.
Jeez.
They got a million of them. Give me a pitcher.
I
And
was-
also, yes, Missy, Jake Berger is absolute cheeks at third base, but
But
I
damn it, he
mean-
hits the ball hard and he's a good father, from what I hear on Twitter.
he's just a good guy too. Fuck.
You know, like,
And like that's another thing. Great
hard to-
story. 2 fucking Achilles injuries.
people forget too, he was clutch last year. Like a lot of his hits were in
Yes.
big situations when he was filling in at third.
No,
base.
it's a big bet, dude. Like you can't argue Jake Berger's bet. It's just
I
his
mean, there's one
fielding is
solution
such
here, guys.
cheeks that you can't.
National Burger Day, he hit a home run. I mean,
If someone,
there-
if there's a team out there that desperately needs a DH,
Traded for Samson.
Jake Berger is your guy.
No,
Traded
no,
for
no.
Samson.
No, guys,
why
let's
do you
make
want
this
Jake
easy.
Berger?
No. The Cubs don't need. The Cubs already have
That's
like
what Samson.
7 guys at third base, and none of them are like that good. But just do away with him because you guys are already a little tired of him. Just put Moncada on the trade block. Just give the job to
That
Jake
actually might
Berger.
happen.
He
for
can
sure.
hit. Get something valuable for Yohan Moncada.
It's
I've been saying
becoming it's becoming concerning to me how much Pedro Grifol is going out of his way to talk up Yohan Moncada. Like it's gotten to that point where it's like, all right, Pedro, like
He's
If
trying
he's
to get
gonna
his
be-
confidence up.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you know what? It's also selling because if he is tradable, you want to make sure that everything stays positive on those optics out of the clubhouse. So complimenting him across the board, even if he has a decent time and you still
I
deal
get
him
that,
with the
but he's
All-Star break.
overdoing it now, man.
Oh,
It's
I'm
like
sure.
every time he has a microphone
Well,
from, he's
the
like,
last
oh,
time
let's
the-
talk about
uh,
Yohan Moncada. It's like,
Somebody
he
on the
struck
Sox
out
overhyped the
back
guy.
walking back to the bench.
So he's more of a salesman at the pagodas at the mall as opposed to like maybe like the actual like brick and mortar store.
I mean,
He's
who knows, guys?
real-
Maybe a move is
Happy
coming. I
with the
mean,
sales and the
Rick
clothes.
Hahn was talking up Romy Gonzalez was the story of the offseason, and then he got replaced like 2 days later by
I've
Elvis
been
Andrews.
saying that- I wrote about it in a sports mockery article. Shameless plug. Go check it out. But like,
Cool,
I
shout out,
think
visit
a lot of people
sportsmockery.com.
see Montgomery is the replacement for TA. I think with the shortstop market and how valuable TA is to the Sox, not just on a branding standpoint, just as a hitter, you extend him as soon as you can, and you start moving Montgomery as your new third baseman. Because if you had to pick between the two to extend, I think you should extend TA. I would move Montgomery to third. I think you keep TA.
Well, let's give Moncada some time. Let's see before we start trading.
Yeah, you give him another couple.
And then Maddie, to this point, the Dodgers Twitter, Dodgers fans basically think they have carte blanche on the league. Like as soon as anyone is remotely at the end of their contract or almost available, the Dodgers just think instantly like we're gonna go get them.
And
So
you
as
know
soon
what?
as-
To be fair,
They have been.
they've done it a lot. So yeah.
So Gavin Lux goes down, and a lot of people, because TA's coming up, he's coming up to his paycheck time, where he's gonna get paid. The shortstop money's ridiculous, and Dodgers fans think they got a legit shot to make a run at him.
I did see that. I think I did see a Dodgers fan that was circulating in White Sox Twitter. I think he later was like, "Oh shit, didn't realize he had the club option for 24." So never
He
mind.
definitely has a club option still.
which they will pick up.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're gonna
they
pick
will.
up. So
But with TA, I think he does, and obviously players just say stuff a lot of times. You can't read too much into it. But he did say he's comfortable in Chicago. He wants to stay there. So I buy into that a little bit. He's been there his whole career. I think now is the time to extend him. He's coming off a down year too, so you can get him at a
Jesus.
relatively cheaper price.
Now Chuck Garfien is trying to pump up Hanser Alberto.
No.
I mean, he once Elvis Andrews signed that.
Days were that was the end of the Hans.
He's a 30-year-old. Just go play in Charlotte, bud.
I wanted that dude like 2 years, or 3 years ago, because I think he hit like 300 with Baltimore.
Isn't it
But
concerning
that was 3
that
years
the
ago.
Dodgers, who are consistently World Series contenders, were like, yeah, we're good with Hanser Alberto. And the White Sox, who are pretending to be contenders, like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. He can be a starting second baseman. Let's pick him up.
Yeah, all of a sudden we got like 8 guys that can start at second base. It's like
I did a
stop
little
with this
chuckle
shit.
only because the Cubs did sign a few former Dodgers
Mhm.
who are going to be starting. So
Yeah, Rios and
Cody Bellinger.
Bellinger.
And TA, too, as far as extending him, not only is he valuable on the field, like for the marketing standpoint, like as much as I love Abreu, he was boring. Like TA gets the Sox in national conversation. Even 2019, they were technically rebuilding. There's a below 500 team, and they got talked about because of Tim Anderson.
The homer,
Illustrated, color athlete on a video game. You need TA. He's
the
basically
homer and Iowa. That's it. Boom. That was the highlight of that year. Period.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best.
It's an all-time great baseball moment.
And
There
now
it was.
where he has a good season this year and then raises his value. And then because we know the Sox don't like giving out those huge deals. You're probably gonna have to go over 100 million. But
Yeah.
come on, now, get your extension magic done.
Yeah. I think it's time.
That's good. We need to have a soundbite of like the engines revving.
I think it's time. I think it's time. NASCAR minute with NASCAR Mitch.
All right, I promise this won't be quicker than Daytona, but there's a lot of backstory to this race. So it was in Fontana, which is in California. This is a great track. The asphalt has been aging, so the tires wear down quicker, which makes for better racing. You can go 5 wide, which is like unheard of on a lot of these tracks, seeing like cars go 5 wide. But they're tearing it down. This is the last year of the track. It's been there for over 30 years. They sold it, I think, to NASA for like $500 million. So they're making the track now a short track. So this is the last year of Fontana. So everyone's really emotional because it's putting like on some of the best races of the year. So also backstory too, we got Kyle Busch who left Joe Gibbs Racing. So if I had to compare it, picture Jose Abreu if he was a douche, right? The face of the White Sox organization for a long time. He leaves with the new team. So it's kind of unsettling. Now he's with like the Astros. The Astros also equivalent to where Kyle Busch went to Richard Childress Racing. Richard Childress also kind of a douche. We'll get into that later. So they're a good fit. Anyway, last race at Fontana. Here we go. Ross Chastain, he's a track house guy along with Daniel Suarez. He gets out to an early lead. He wins stage 1. I'm pretty happy. Suarez is in 4th. Kyle Busch, he starts in the back. He starts working his way up the field. He gets to the front. And I'm like, Kyle Busch. I don't want him to win this last race of Fontana. So then he goes to pit lane to pit, right? And he gets a speeding penalty coming off. So he has to go back to the back of the field. So me and Yaw Dog, we're celebrating. We're like, yeah, let's go. He's in the back of the field. Well, Kyle Busch, like, as much as I hate to say it, he's a great driver. And what makes him great.
Oh, wait. Can you say that again?
No, you got to watch.
You froze up a little bit. It cut out. It cut out.
It cut off.
It cut out.
It cut out.
Seriously, it cut out. You got to say it again.
He's a heavily motivated driver. He wants to stick
no,
to
that's
Joe
not what you
Gibbs.
What was
said.
the
That's
line
not what you
before
said.
that?
It really wasn't Joe Gibbs' fault. If we're
What was
being
the line
honest.
before that? What
Huh?
did you say about Kyle Busch? It cut out.
He turns left really well. But, he's got that, like, Michael Jordan attitude. He wants to stick it to everyone, right? So he's pissed off he got the speeding penalty. And also in the back of his head, he's trying to prove that Joe Gibbs made a mistake by not bringing him back. So he starts working his way back up through the field. It's almost like Jaws. Ross Chastain back out in front. He's like lollygagging along. He's won stage 1. He's won stage 2. Here comes Kyle Busch. So now there's a great battle in the stage 2. Kyle Busch is back up. He comes to the right side of Chastain, right? So they're going like side by side. And all of a sudden, Joey Logano, he comes out of nowhere. He makes a 3-ride, passes on the apron of the track. He takes the lead. Kyle Busch backs off because he's near the wall. Chastain's back behind him. And then later there's a wreck. So Joey Logano's now in the front during this restart. During the rules for like the restarts, they can only go when the guy in front like hits the gas. So with Joey Logano's kind of like baiting everyone during the restart zone, but he doesn't hit the gas yet. A bunch of guys at the back of the field are anticipating Joey to go, but Joey like fakes everyone out. So then there's a big pile up, like they like crash into each other. This is like another huge wreck. Clears out half the field. So Kyle Busch is in a good position here. So stage 3, Chastain takes the lead. Kyle Busch is back up front. Chastain's running the same line he's gone like the whole race. Kyle Busch keeps getting bigger and bigger in his mirror. Busch is trying different lines, and Chastain's like, oh shit, like he's right in my rear mirror. But he doesn't want to switch lanes. He's going the same line. He's like, this has been working all race. It's been the best car all race. Kyle Busch takes the low side, takes the lead, drives away with it. He gets the win. And what was sickening about the whole thing, Kyle Busch has been the villain his entire career. And everyone was cheering for him all of a sudden now that he's on a new team and won. I don't know what they have against Joe Gibbs, but everyone likes Kyle Busch all of a sudden. He wins the last race at Fontana, extends his streak to 19 years in a row, winning a race, which tied Kyle Petty's record, or not Kyle Petty, the King, Richard Petty's record. So yeah, he made some history. Last race at Fontana, it was sickening, but Kyle Busch, good drive from a good driver. Some may say great, and yeah, he wins the last race. There you go, NASCAR Minute. Let me say this too.
Nope.
This Padres pitch is shitting bricks right now. Why? Because Danny fucking Burgess is up and back. Guy just ordered Shake Shack straight to the dugout.
Let me say this really quick. Look, I'm all for the game. I don't dress well enough to be one of them if we're going to dispel these rumors. This is the Yuri Garcia closet.
This is
Not that there's
2023,
anything wrong
buddy.
with that, but, yeah.
Oh my
We're all
God,
the same.
that was phenomenal.
By the way,
Alex, I try to get him to repeat the fact that he said Kyle Busch is a good driver. Great driver, actually.
Great driver.
He said great driver.
He is. He's a
excellent
dude.
driver.
Great. He's one of the best of all time,
He
unfortunately.
drives it on Tuesday.
Alex, I'm giving you some gold here. Just clip this shit for your NASCAR group chat, bud.
Got him.
Don't say it. This counts as your birthday and Christmas present. Oh shit, that was a good minute though. That was electric. I think Fids, I'm putting the assignment on me and you. We have to refresh the pictures from now on every
Yep.
week.
But did you notice I added some towards
I
the
did,
end?
and I was trying to put them in there. Like there's some mainstays that have to stay, like the beef on the, like here's the pictures that stay no matter what. Like this picture stays.
The cars.
This picture stays.
This one should stay for a second at least to as we remind some people tonight what's
Oh
coming.
wait, we
Hank-
still haven't done that.
Hank stays. Cool Han stays. Benintendi stays.
That needs that for the
For
60
some
time.
reason, Point Blank stays because it makes me laugh. This stays.
That has to stay, of course.
This
Don't delete
stays.
the dreamy Rick Hahn thing, 'cause that's for the sexy time with with the impersonation.
Right. No, as I say, that stays. So,
Christensen could go.
also, one of you, please tweet out the link to the Fantasy Baseball League.
Kevin.
All right. Let me,
I'm trying to win that. I don't need more competition. I ain't tweeting that out.
Well,
All right, folks. For anyone interested,
for anyone interested,
all right. So I got to do this. I got to.
You should join the whole.
Keep stalling.
momentarily,
Keep stalling real quick. So I
you
got
will
to
have
send
the
link
chance.
to myself, and then
if you want to get into the Pinwheels and Ivy Fantasy Baseball League,
A big honor, by the way.
it's a good
Mhm.
time. It is a good time. It's competitive where like people actually do set their lineups, but like no one's like crazy about it.
Except for me.
We didn't have, well, yeah, we kind of curbed that shit this year.
Make sure you turn off the your notifications for Yahoo
Yes.
Fantasy Baseball.
Otherwise, you will be aware of every time Aldo takes his morning dump because you'll
It
get
could
hit with.
it could be worse though, because like with the
does.
2-hour difference from
Is it out?
Arizona to Chicago,
Yeah, give me a second. Hold on. No, it's not there yet.
yeah, you could be
I'm going to share it
waking
at
up
PM, and then I'm going to
earlier,
share it.
but not anymore.
Yeah, Pinwheels. Give me a second. So it'll be right there.
Yep.
Now we're getting there. Now we're getting
You know what? All that is a good point. Where it would usually be about 10:30 Chicago time. And
Right.
I'd be like, oh, morning constitutional going on right now for Aldo. Because it'd
Okay.
be like, Aldo picked up this guy, dropped this guy. Aldo picked up this guy, dropped this guy. Aldo picked up this guy, dropped this. And it's all the starting pitchers. And you're just like, okay. All right.
Hold on. Almost there.
But
How many? We're gonna have eight spots
So-
open.
So
Or
while I'm-
no,
Yeah,
Seven?
there's 7, I think. While we're here, though, and then you're waiting, would you guys do me a favor and recap last season for me? How did it end up?
I wasn't here, so I wouldn't know.
Fitz
Ooh,
won.
Mitch was not here.
Oh,
So when did we decide we're going to do the
Let's
draft,
get
though?
started. It's not this week AL Central anymore.
Balanced
Not-
schedule coming up. Here we
New
go.
team in town, baby.
the not 3 weeks from tonight. I think it was the
So the 23rd, I think.
the 23rd.
Or 20, whatever. 20,
Whatever that is. Yeah, that
Fantasy
Wednesday.
baseball, if you still want to like stall for time, I remember in second grade, I was into fantasy, but first time I was ever in a fantasy baseball league, and I got the first overall pick, and I'm all excited, right? And, I'm a big White Sox fan, and this is just right around when like Gordon Beckham just got called up. So all the players
You took Gordon Beckham with the second pick.
first overall pick, and I got like laughed out of the draft. It was everyone was taking like pool holes and like all these good players. I'm like, wow, I really shouldn't have done that.
Ready, Fids, in 3, 2, 1, tweet it. All right.
Big
first take.
7 spots open. First
Oh.
come, first serve.
Share, baby, share.
Pinwheels and Ivy
What's up?
podcast. Fantasy baseball.
First
On
come,
Yahoo.
first serve. On Yahoo. We do the draft live.
And we
We
added
do
some
the
rules.
draft live on a Wednesday night.
I
More-
think the winner of the league should get a free cattle report shirt this year, or maybe
I-
last.
All
I
right, all
like
right.
it. I like it. I like it.
I mean, if you get to wear it for the next at least 7 months, I'll make a fake championship belt. I have no shame at all.
Oh, to your question in the comments, Missy, fantasy baseball is nothing like fantasy football
No, fantasy football is way
because it's
easier.
every fucking day. And I love baseball. Absolutely love baseball. I've been doing this show, whatever, for however long. I love it. It's every day.
Well, the
And
key is
you
you
will
just
forget.
do like the beginning of the week, and you look at the schedule, and just set your lineup for a full week, and then you get an alert.
But see, that is the thing. The one good thing
Whoop.
of me making 27 moves every day was in case you did forget,
It
you'd
did,
have
and
all
you
those
know what, although that-
notifications.
It did. It really did.
We've got one in so far. We got Yumper is in. So
Yeah.
Yumper's
Oh,
in.
By the way, I do have to say, because of the 2-hour time difference,
Gordon Miller.
I was at a disadvantage for picking up guys. So I
I know. I'm
Don't
just gonna give.
feel bad.
I just never
Wait,
realized.
how are
to do
there
it.
3 Alexes? Hold up. What? Alex, Jordan Miller, Killer. I think maybe Jordan Miller, Killer. Matty Mitch made it. And then another Alex is amazing. And then Alex is amazing. Wait, how? What? How? What? You make
I mean, they, like for anyone, or unless Alex has 2 teams now.
He's just said he tweeted. He joined multiple times.
I think my phone tweak and join. All right. Well, if that's the thing, we'll have to kick one of them out, and then we'll have an available spot.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I'll pull the weight as the commish.
Typical Kyle Busch fan, hogging all the spots.
What does Alex think this is? A Chicago election? Come on.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. A lot of both of you pretty proud of how quick you ripped those jokes off there, fellas.
Yeah,
Shout out,
1,
shout out Lori.
3,
There might be a NASCAR.
Alex created 4 teams.
His phone tweaked out a little bit.
So he created the Jordan Miller
Yeah, I know. Bad
killed
internet.
Tupac, or wait.
Oh yeah, we got Jordan Miller killed Tupac. Alex Amazing Team. Jordan Miller killed Tupac.
So which one are those? Both Alex? Same Alex?
I'm guessing all 3 of them are. Hold on, I can tell you right now. They all have the.
Same Yahoo rating. Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Which one? We can change the name later.
Wait, wait a minute.
Alex's Amazing Team, and I just lost.
Well, that's Brian. One of them's Brian. Brian's best team. Yeah, look at the rating.
Let's see here. Remove team.
Yeah, keep the Jordan
Brian's
Miller
best is
one.
there, but the Jordan Miller Tupac 2 and then Alex's Amazing Team are the same.
Yeah,
So-
so he said keep the Jordan Miller killed Tupac. I think he did it on purpose just so we would say Jordan Miller killed Tupac on the show like multiple times.
And we did.
Yeah.
And we should.
Subscribe, jerks.
Subscribe.
And then go take your friend's phone and subscribe too.
Don't you want to win those tickets? Start subscribing.
All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got Yump, Brian, Alex, Matty Mitch, and then now it's still going. For all those.
We got one less slot, one more spot.
We got how many? We
Maybe
got
like 4 more slots.
We got like 3 more, I think. Someone says my team. We got my team. I don't know who that is yet.
Okay.
It says my
3
team.
more
They haven't created a name yet.
I like it. Mystery. We'll get it filled. It'll fill up.
Mystery team season. There you go.
Apparently 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night wasn't a good time to drop the link, but
Well, we know who the real fans are. That's
Yeah.
That's right.
that's
Only
why
the real ones that will tweet and actually like do their lineup changes while dumping in the morning as a priority.
But yeah, subscribe. Tell your friends, please. I said please. Said
Oh,
please.
thank you. Real quick interruption, appreciation moment.
What?
Appreciation moment, real quick. Hold up.
Oh.
Oh, I thought we were gonna get through the whole show. I really did. I really thought we were gonna get through the whole show.
Weeks.
Get in there, Senor Sox. Get in there, bud. We were in the championship in fantasy football. And I got smoked in the championship. Senor Sox beat the shit out of
1,
me like
2,
I stole
3,
something.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are full.
Full. There you go.
Brianna's grand team, Jonathan's standout team, Ryan's pleasant team,
Let's go. I like
my
it.
team. I don't know who that is yet.
When did we say we're gonna draft?
Alex.
The week before opening day, or
So
the
that's-
Wednesday before opening day.
So that's gonna be on the 22nd or 29th.
Wednesday?
29th.
The 20. Well, we can
20
do one of the.
Yeah.
The
Either one of those, whichever
Yeah.
one you guys want.
Whichever one we're all gonna be here because I.
Oh yeah, I think Kevin said he was going to be out. I forget which one. The 22nd. Or no?
Yes, I'll be in Paris next. Not next week, but the week after. Yeah.
So
The,
we should do it that day. And then you'll get Gordon Beckham with the second pick overall.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's look at the dates. Hold on. Yeah. I will be home on the 22nd. I leave on the 15th, or I'll be gone from the 10th through the 25th or whatever. Yeah. Or no, 10th to 20. What is it? 18th. Jeez, Pete.
All right. You guys got anything else?
Oh, come on. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Stall.
Well, when does World Baseball Classic starts?
I think so.
They're gonna call a ball on us. They're gonna call a ball on us if we're not careful.
Yeah, but it's true.
We're pushing the
Pitch
limit.
clock.
No.
All right. I just learned a new word.
Jordan Walker.
God,
I
these
saw
are
the
such-
I saw the tweet. So, am I scared? Maybe. What can I do about it? Nothing.
Oh yeah, I'm getting good at the cattle reports. I'm fucking
Okay, here we go. We do need a cattle report. Update.
Commodities are on point. News readings, not so much, but commodity reports, we got it down. No more complaints yet.
Okay.
The lean down for the month of March, 11 3/4. That was today anyway. So there you go.
All right. Really good. Good stuff there. And that was the cattle report. You guys get that for free here.
Yeah, that's right.
That's free money if you know what you're doing. Hell yeah. All right. So for Mitch Fids, that's all the Zoe. Subscribe and we'll see you guys next week.